Welcome back to my channel. I'm Lindsay Prez, your friendly neighborhood beauty enthusiast. Today I'm showing you how I got these beachy curls using just a curling iron and a few products. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. Thanks. All right, let's get started. I'm going to be using my Kevin Murphy Heated Defense. I usually put this in wet, but I'm going to show you how to use it because you can use it wet or dry, which is super nice. So it's a lightweight foam. So I'm just going to do one pump because my hair is pretty short. I'm gonna run it through my ends. You always want to use a heat protectant regardless of what you're doing, whether you're blow drying, flat ironing, curling, whatever, just use a heat protectant. All right, I just ran that through my ends. I washed my hair yesterday and I let it air dry. You don't have to let your hair air dry, it's fine. So I'm just gonna use a clip. I am using a 1-inch curling iron. This is the Moroccan Oil brand. But I don't really care what brand you use, just make sure that you can adjust your temperature. So unless your hair is super coarse, thick, and like curly, you don't really need to go above 350. If your hair's super fine, baby fine, doesn't hold a curl, you don't want to turn your heat up because you're gonna burn it. You just want to hold it a little bit longer or use a smaller barrel. You could use a 3/4 inch if your hair is shorter, but 1 inch should be good for almost every hair length unless it's super long. Again, if your hair's very long though, it's good to use a 1 inch. So I have my heat set at 340. This did come with a little clamp and I just took it off and I set it on this little bag here. You guys, my mother-in-law got this for me. It's so cool. You can just pop your hot tool right in there and then travel with it or whatever. I use it to keep my kids from touching my hot curling iron when it's done. So there's that. Don't turn your heat too high. That's my point. So I have my hair split down the middle. I am going to take a section right kind of in the middle of my ear there and then just clip. Okay, and now I'm splitting my hair in half to either side so that I have control. So this is super easy, but it does take a little bit of practice. Make sure you get all those little baby hairs out of there so that you're not grabbing those multiple times. You want your section to be roughly the diameter of your curling iron. So you don't want to take this whole section because that's way thicker than my curling iron, right? So split that, take small sections, and I know what you're thinking, that's gonna take forever. Do you want it to take a little longer and last for a few days, or do you want it to be super quick and fall out in an hour? Take your time. So we're gonna do small sections. Okay, I'm holding my iron just like my flat iron, you guys. I'm gonna hold my iron kind of vertically at an angle. So we're gonna clamp right in the middle of my section, and I'm kind of holding my iron back this way, not forward, so that my hair goes with the barrel. We're gonna clamp at the bottom of this, twist, just hold it for just a second, and then watch my finger here. I'm gonna pull that down just a little bit. I'm just loosening the grip as I do that. And then this whole piece is gonna stay straight. So I'm gonna drop this out, and I'm just going to flatten this down here. Don't touch it. Now we're gonna go to the next one. These bottom sections you don't have to worry a ton about, honestly. Just make them not super straight. That back one I can't really do that dropping with because it's too short. And we're gonna go to this side. So again, I just sectioned down the middle so I could see what I was doing. If your hair is shorter than mine, don't even worry about this bottom section. You can round brush it under, or you can flat iron it a little bit. You don't have to worry about curling it, honestly. If your hair is longer than mine, do more on this bottom section. I'll show you when I get up higher. So drop and then straighten out. Go to your next section. So now this one was like middle of my ear. This one is gonna be right about my temple. Drop out your front. So again, don't take a section too big. Clamp, twist, all the way up to the root. We're focusing our curl up here, not on this bottom. And then I have all this straight. I'm gonna remove it. And you can do this again if your hair's longer. Do that same process. I don't really need to do it twice because my hair's too short for that, but if your hair's longer, you just keep repeating that. I'm still taking everything away from my face right now. I will do some going forward for more of a beachy look, but these are all going back. So still have that end out, drop it, twist it, and flatten it out. If you get your ends too curly, you can take a flat iron real quick and just run them through your ends. I'm gonna do this whole section again. I'm not gonna focus a ton on the bottom of my hair. This takes me way longer than my flat iron, which is why I usually use my flat iron. But if you can't conquer the flat iron and you want to try a curling iron, this is a good way to get the same look. And then always pull whatever these pieces in the back. Don't skip those. They don't have to be perfect, but you can't act like they don't exist. And it doesn't matter how you clip it, but I just twist and then twist and then clip. Again, split it down the middle for control. So now I'm gonna do that front little piece there. And everything around my face goes back away from my face, but I'm kind of over directing forward so that I don't get those curls that like start way back here. So curl, unclamp, twist up, hold it for a second. This should feel hot when you're ready to release. And then you're just gonna untwist, untwist, and flatten. So see how that's kind of curled? We're just gonna take our curling iron and curl that a little, or straighten it a little bit. So now this one right here, I'm gonna go forward. So I've been going with my clamp towards my face. Now I'm gonna flip my clamp backwards. So you can still just turn your hand. I like to use my thumb now. And then I'm gonna twist for my face, towards my face. You don't have to do this. If that feels really complicated to you, just do it the way that makes sense. But this is gonna give more of that textured beachy look so that they don't all clump together. And then we're just gonna untwist and slide. And I'm only gonna do maybe 2 or 3 like that throughout my whole head. Some people go back and forth on every single strand. So like each section is back and then forth, back and then forth. You can absolutely do that. I just personally don't. It's too much work. So pulling it down, twisting it back up, because we're focusing our curl up here, and then untwist and straight. So on my last section, I start in the back to make sure that I'm getting all of the hair. And then I'm gonna kind of flatten these ends out first. And again, you can do that with a flat iron if using a curling iron is kind of hard on those ends. I'm just going away from my face. I'm taking bigger sections through this last section here because I want a looser curl. And then the front is always its own section. And then for this little bang, I'm just gonna go forward and just really softly kind of curl it, which I know that looks stupid, but it's gonna fall into this. Don't touch this while it's hot, let it set. And that's gonna help extend the life of your curl too, by letting it cool in that curled position. That's how you get it to stay. Another thing I've had a lot of people ask me about is they tell me that their curls only stay for a few hours. You know, they're doing everything that I'm telling them, washing their hair, you have to use less, using dry shampoo, all those things, and it's still just not staying. So your hair has memory, and it's gonna remember the pattern that you put it in. So my hair stays curled for 5 or 6 days if I want it to. And the reason that is because I have had my hair curled probably 90% of the time for the last 8 years. I'm a hairstylist, so I curl it, you know, I usually curl it 2 times a week, like Sundays and Thursdays or something. And it stays curled for work, and then I brush it and I throw it up and I do all kinds of things with it, and it just holds that curl. Because my hair is used to being in that curl pattern. It's been like that for so many years. But before I used to curl my hair all the time, I would take 3 hours curling my hair, spray it with Herbal Essences hairspray, and it would still fall within, you know, a couple of hours at the absolute most. And it's because that hair was never curled. I straightened it every single day, and then now I wanted it to be curled. It wasn't gonna be curled. So if you want your hair to hold a curl, I've said this a million times, my biggest advice is to curl your hair every day for a month. Every day. You don't have to wash it every day, just curl it every single day for a month. And by the end of that month, you're gonna see, oh, it's starting to hold a little bit longer. So keep it going. Some hair types will take longer than that, some will take less than that, but you need to curl your hair more often if you want it to hold a curl. If you're only curling your hair once a year, it's not gonna hold a curl. Okay, so check the back. We're good. Okay, so now I'm just gonna use my fingers on this side because this side's already cool. And I'm just gonna pull that out of there. That side's almost cool. We're gonna give it just a second. So because I washed my hair last night, I didn't blow dry it. My roots have already gotten a little bit greasy, so I am gonna use a little bit of dry shampoo. You don't have to, but this is just what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use my Amika Perk Up. This is also a new can, so it's kind of crazy. Okay, this side is cool. And by cool, I just mean that when you touch it, it doesn't feel warm. I hope that makes sense. Okay, and now I'm going to go in with my Aquage Dry Texture Spray. So somebody asked me how to do this the other day. So what I do is I hold my fingers right here and I kind of pinch and pull rather than like lifting up and spraying. I just pinch and pull. Because I want it to give me a lift, but it's not like a volumizer. So you don't want to just spray it on your root because it's going to look crazy. And I do that on day 1. So then how I revive this over the next few days, tonight before bed, I'm going to brush it. And then tomorrow morning, I'm going to put my Amika dry shampoo in again, just through my root. And then if your ends are feeling really dry and staticky, it's because it's dry this time of year and you need a little bit of oil. So I'm gonna use my Kevin Murphy Young Again oil, and I'm just gonna run it through my ends. Kevin Murphy is what I use in the salon most of the time. I use a little bit of Schwarzkopf, I use some Amika, I use a few different things, but Kevin Murphy is my main line. And then I get these crazy pieces from these short hairs right here. So I just tuck those behind my ear and pretend they don't exist. If you have requests for tutorials you want to see, please feel free to comment those below and be sure to hit that subscribe button for more. Thank you.